Some people are saying the housing market is crashing. Others say buyers are finally getting their power back. So what's really happening in Thornton, Colorado right now? So today, I want to break down exactly what's happening right now in the Thornton housing market. The prices, the inventory, how quickly homes are selling, and what it all really means if you are thinking about making a move this year. And by the way, if you're planning to move anywhere in the Denver metro area, make sure to stay until the end, because the strategy for buyers and sellers has completely changed in this market. My name is Ilse. I'm a local realtor with Keller Williams here in the Denver metro area and a master negotiation expert. On this channel, I share real estate updates, tips for buyers and sellers, and what it's really like living here in Colorado. And today, we are taking a closer look at what's happening in the Thornton real estate market right now in 2026. Let's start with the question everyone asks first. What are home prices doing in Thornton right now? Currently, the median home price in Thornton, Colorado is around $527,000. That's about 10% lower than this time last year, which can sound dramatic at first glance, but it's really important to look at the bigger picture before jumping to conclusions. During the pandemic years, home prices increased extremely quickly across the entire Denver metro area. We saw historically low interest rates and very intense competition among buyers. What we are seeing now is not a crash, it's more a market correction and stabilization after that rapid growth. So what this tells us is prices have softened slightly, but overall home values are still holding strong, and the market is finding a healthier, more balanced pace. Now let's talk about inventory, because this is where we are really seeing one of the biggest changes compared to a few years ago. Right now, there are about 280 homes for sale in Thornton. That's quite a bit more inventory than we had during the ultra-competitive pandemic market, when homes were selling almost as soon as they hit the market. What this means today is that buyers finally have more choices again. A few years ago, buyers were often competing in multiple offer situations, waiving inspections, and making very quick decisions based mostly on emotion and fear of missing out. Today, the market feels much more balanced. Buyers can now compare multiple homes, take a little more time making decisions, schedule inspections properly, and in some cases, negotiate on price, repairs, or seller concessions. In fact, about 48% of homes are selling below the original asking price, which shows that buyers do have some negotiation power. That said, demand in Thornton is still strong. Depending on the neighborhood and price range, the market can still lean slightly towards sellers in some areas and give buyers a bit more leverage in others. So how quickly are homes actually selling right now? Currently, homes in Thornton are selling in about 50 to 60 days on average. Now, if you compare that to the pandemic market when homes were selling in just a few days, that can feel slow. But historically speaking, 50 days is actually a very normal and healthy market pace. The key thing to understand right now is that pricing and presentation matter more than ever. Homes that are priced correctly, professionally staged, clean and well presented, and marketed effectively are still selling fairly quickly. But homes that are priced too high are sitting on the market longer and often need price reductions. In fact, nearly 30% of listings have had price reductions, which tells us that sellers really need to price strategically from the beginning in today's market. So what does all of this mean if you are a buyer thinking about purchasing in Thornton? Honestly, this is one of the most favorable buying environments we've seen in several years. Right now, buyers have more homes to choose from, less intense competition, more negotiation power, and the ability to take their time with inspections and decisions. That creates a much less stressful buying experience compared to the frenzy we saw just a few years ago. And if mortgage rates stabilize or begin to improve later this year, we could see buyers re-enter the market. That's why many buyers right now are choosing to purchase before competition increases again. Now, if you're a homeowner thinking about selling in Thornton, here's the key thing to understand. Homes are absolutely still selling, but the strategy for selling successfully has changed compared to a few years ago. To sell your home successfully in today's market, you need accurate pricing from the start, great presentation and staging, professional marketing, and a clear strategy before your home ever hits the market. The days of simply putting a sign in the yard and receiving 10 offers over the weekend are mostly behind us. But the good news is that well-prepared homes are still selling and holding strong value. And when a home is priced correctly and presented well, it can still generate strong buyer interest. So, to summarize what's happening in the Thornton real estate market right now, median home price is about $527,000. Homes are selling in roughly 50 to 60 days. Inventory is higher than in the pandemic years. Buyers have more options and negotiating power, but demand is still strong enough to keep the market relatively balanced. In other words, this isn't the wild market of 2021, but it's definitely not a crash either. What we are seeing is a much healthier and more balanced real estate market. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Thornton this year, I'd be happy to help you understand exactly what your options are. Every neighborhood and every price range behaves a little differently, so the best first step is simply having a quick conversation with me. You can reach out to me anytime. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, because I post regular updates about the Denver metro real estate market and what it's really like living here in Colorado.